Well, hello, everybody, and welcome into this Monday. It is October the 13th. I'm Chris Allen, and this is 270 weather. Weather for the 270 area code and beyond. Okay, last night, if you were watching, I introduced this new kind of this layout here. Um, and I had some issues with it, apparently, audio issues. It started out fine. Everything looked good, sounded good. You guys were like, hey, man, I like this. Then all of a sudden the audio went away. And so I've been all afternoon up until this point trying to figure out what happened. I think I know what happened, but it was one of those situations where I just got into this new stuff and there was one little setting. It's always that one little setting that you just, it's like, oh, yeah, that's what happened. So it was that. But anyway, I think I got it figured out. Hopefully, you guys can hear me now. Um, if not, then like you did last night, let me know if you cannot hear me. Okay, because that I want to know that. So, yeah, uh, there's the subscription. I've got all this new kind of fancy stuff as you see there. That's all the pretty little things that pop up and show you this and show you that. Yeah, if you want to subscribe, there's the information. It's just kind of a reminder, as to what all that's about. Isn't that cool how that does that? I like that little transition there. It's pretty sweet. Here's another one. Of course, I got to give props to my sponsor, R&R Controls. And down here at the bottom is the weather headlines from R&R Controls. And you can see now while I'm talking, you can see that down at the bottom, I've got headlines pertaining to our forecast. So I've got neat little toys that I'm working with here, but some of them are not working exactly the way I want them to. So I appreciate you all giving me a little pass on that and just being patient with me. I don't know how many times through this process I've said, be patient with me. I'll get it right. I'll get it fixed. And then that little thing pops up, that one little annoying thing pops up and it just, oh, yeah. Hopefully that will not happen now. Okay. Cause I've gone through and I think I've pretty much got this set now. At least I hope so. Okay. So you see the weather headlines down at the bottom, of course, sponsored by our good friends at R&R Controls. And they continue to support me. So support me through all of these changes. First, it was moving. Then it was trying to get everything set back up and then trying to get the right kind of internet and enough strong internet and all of that. Now, all right, to the weather. As you can see down at the bottom, yeah, now things are starting to get a little more interesting for the weekend. Not only is there a chance of rain, but there's also now a possibility that we could be looking at some strong to severe storms. I kid you not. Now, there is always a second season of severe weather. It's not just in the spring, but we have another one in the fall. It almost always happens. And it looks like it may happen this coming weekend, specifically Saturday to the west, maybe Sunday more here in the 270, at least the western part of the 270, than the central part. We'll just have to keep an eye on it because things are starting to look like maybe it could go that direction. Okay, let's move on now, and I will show you the current conditions as far as. Here we go. Let me hit the right button. There we go. Okay, so now that worked like it was supposed to. Let me take this little banner down though because it's kind of in the way. All right. Yeah. Okay. There we go. I've just got to learn how to put these little triggers in here and make them work to my benefit and take control. But anyway, today's high 79, 79. Yes. At the Bowling Green Airport right here where I live now. That's 6 degrees warmer than the normal of 73. Yes, we've gone down one more degree on our normal high temperature. It's now 73. In the next few days, it's going to go down to 72. By the weekend, it'll be about 71, and it's going to keep going down until we arrive at wintertime. And when winter arrives, December 21st, the average daytime high will be what our low to turn the right way will be what our low was for this morning, 48. That will be our average daytime high temperature, 48 on December 21st. So how cool it felt this morning is how warm it's supposed to be by winter's start, December 21st, a few days before Christmas. Just to do a little comparison there so that you it's perspective. It's all about perspective and how it's going to feel and all of that kind of stuff. But anyway, our high was 79 and our low was 48. And of course, no precipitation during the past 24 hours. Okay, I'm going to hit a button here. This is supposed to do something. Let's see what happens. Oh! Did you see that? It went pretty fancy, huh? Okay. Let's start with the Mesonet. And I am going to show you the radar, but I'm going to wait on that because, one, there's nothing to show you on the radar, but two, I now use the radar platform that can show you so much more than just the radar. And from that vantage point, I'll be able to show you the severe weather outlook. So hang on. So let's go to the Kentucky Mesonet right now, and I'll show you conditions at the moment. And here we go with temperatures as of 6:51 p.m. If you're watching this live, currently we have temperatures in the 60s. We've got 64 at the Corvette plant, 67 at the Ag Expo Center. It is 57 already down by the Cumberland River in Burkesville. That is always going to be the coolest of these sensors around the area, especially this time of the year. How warm did you get today? 76 at the Corvette plant, 77 at the Ag Expo Center. You made it to 78 in Morgantown, 76 in Munfordville, 75 in Edmonton. Scottsville, you made it to 76. Tompkinsville, T-ville, you made it up to 75. Okay, there's your temperatures. Where did you start out this morning? Well, look how chilly it was. I mean, we started out with 45s here in Bowling Green. Let's see if there's anything any cooler than 45. Yep. 44, T-ville. Tompkinsville this morning, 39. See, again, that one sensor in Burkesville is always the chilliest. 39 is where you started this morning. Whew. And of course, no rainfall. We continue with the zip zero nadas. Winds coming out of the north, light, and will continue to be out of the north as we continue through time. Okay, let's go to I want to go to the radar now, and I'm going to switch to the radar scene. Let me do this, and let's see if it works. There it is. So far, it's working, and so far, I don't see any of you. I'm looking at comments. Everybody's hearing me. And my little microphone, I've got a little symbol down at the bottom here that's going beep, 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 up and down as I'm talking. So this is so far, we're okay. We're doing good. We're doing good. Okay. There's a look at radar, but as you know, there's no rain out there. Not going to be any rain. Not tonight, not tomorrow, not the next few days. Nothing. All that you see around the Nashville Doppler radar site, which is actually located at Old Hickory Lake, is just what we call blooming. This is where you get a little transference, if you will, of the daytime to nighttime conditions. And it just shows it as it's just picking up bugs. It's picking up, it could be buildings, it could be birds, it could be just different things at different times of the night. So that's what it's showing there. But now I'm going to get deeper into this and show you the weekend rain chances and the possibility of severe weather. So here it comes. First thing I'm going to show you is the what's called the probabilistic. Probabilistic. That's like aluminum. It's one of those words that's hard to say. Probabilistic outlook. This is from the Storm Prediction Center, the SPC. They are the ones that put out these, day 1, day 2, day 3, so forth and so on. They put out these risk grids or risk areas of the possibility of severe weather. Well, look at this. This is day 6. Day 6, which would be Saturday. And look, they already have in the yellow from, you see Owensboro, Madisonville, west of Hopkinsville, all of western Kentucky, southern Illinois, much of Missouri, parts of Arkansas, West Tennessee, are under a 15% risk of severe storms on Saturday. Now, for them to put out a risk for day 6, 6 days, out, with some assurance there's at least going to be a 15% chance of severe, then you can pretty much say, something's coming this weekend. Now, whether that area that you're looking at moves east over Bowling Green and over the rest of Kentucky, we'll just have to wait and see. Tomorrow, they'll put out a new one, and of course, it'll go to day 5, and then day 4, day 3. The closer we get, you see how that looks. But really, for them to put out a day 6 risk area says something. It says this could be something worth watching and preparing for. And I know you guys are like, really? Are we going to really have to worry? I wouldn't worry. I would be prepared. You know what I'm going to say? I'm going to say preparedness. Preparedness is always the key. If I've taught you guys anything, I want you to learn from me. If from no one else, prepare for the worst, pray for the best. That's the way I look at it. So Saturday night into Sunday, we could be looking at a potential severe weather setup for our area. Parts of the 270 anyway, at least. There's that possibility. Okay? So that's one takeaway I want you to see from this. Here's something else I want to show you. Let's go to the models, and Don't worry about those colors. That's temperature. So I want to go, I'm going to go to the, let's go to the European and the European model. And I'm going to go with, well, let's see if I can get show. So let me go North American model. Okay. Um, and we're going to go through time. This is going to show potential for rainfall. Okay. And we'll take this in steps and we'll go through time. It's only going to go so far, though, because the North American model only goes out, I think 36 hours, maybe 48 now. I can't remember some of these. But anyway, here goes tomorrow. You can see the time up here at the top of the screen, the time and the date. Okay. So this is tomorrow. Here we go now into Wednesday. All right. Now Thursday. Okay. It's only going to go to about Friday. Okay. That's all the NAM is going to show us, North American model. Let's go then to, the GFS, of course, is the one that's going to be the one that goes out a little bit further. Okay. It's going to load up here. And again, I want to show you the rain that is coming in. And this is good news because we, of course, as you know, are in a drought situation and it's only going to get worse, I think, before it gets better. So here's tomorrow, Tuesday, now Wednesday, now Thursday, 16th, now Friday. Okay, now Saturday, here it comes. Now, I was trying to stop it back here. Let me back this up. Okay. Now, we are going to begin to see, according to this, now this is just the GFS model. And the GFS kind of is more of a broad brush and not very detailed. So keep that in mind because this will probably change. But as you can see, by 10 a.m. local time on Saturday, let me make sure. Yeah, Saturday is the 18th. 10 a.m., you can see that we start to get some shower activity west of us. Here's 1 p.m. Saturday afternoon. Then we go 7 p.m. Whoops, let me back that up one more. Yeah, that's what I wanted right there. Look at all that. Now, even though it looks kind of soft and ragged right now, that potentially is a line of strong to severe storms, just the way it's lined up. Okay. When you start to see some of those yellows and reds and oranges all kind of lined up together, that's the possibility that we could be looking at a linear segment, more of a QLCS, which is a quasi-linear convective system. That's what QLCS means. All that means is, remember, those of you that are about my age, we used to call them squall lines. Well, that's kind of what the setup is here. And because it's 7 p.m., as far as what this model is showing on Saturday evening, this would be just after the sun sets. So a lot of the potential energy is going to be back here in Western Kentucky, Paducah, Owensboro, maybe Madisonville down to Murray. So it looks more like a straight line wind, potential straight line wind event with this kind of setup, but that could change. Okay. Let's move forward. Here we go. 10 p.m. and this thing is still holding together. 10 p.m. This is Saturday night. Still looks pretty healthy to me as it moves into Bowling Green. Now, again, this is not a guarantee. Please do not look at this or any other graphic that somebody posts on social media showing that, oh, This is what's going to happen. Saturday night at 10 o'clock, look at all these tornadoes and blah, blah, blah. Just don't. And please, what's even worse is that for those of you who share those things, oh my God, please stop. It just makes it harder for us to come back and explain things, because those people that post those things, that one picture of what could potentially happen, they're not explaining the weather like I am. I'm taking the time to explain to you why that's not a good thing to follow. I don't care what their name is. It's just not a good idea to take one snapshot and go, this is what we're looking at. This is all potentially what could happen. But you've got to look at this from that kind of an eye that this could change. I'm just trying to prepare you for the possibility. Notice how it weakens as it goes into 1 a.m. This would be after midnight, Sunday morning. Then we go a little further, 4 a.m. Sunday morning, 7 a.m. By that time, it's gone. Okay. And then that system rolls away. Now, is there anything else out there we need to look at? Well, here comes another system. In fact, it looks like there may be a series of systems coming in. This one would be for the 23rd. Let's see, that would be Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. The following Thursday, the 23rd of October. This one doesn't look as potent, but it does have some nice coverage of rain with it. Okay, then that system moves on. So it looks like we're going to have a series of systems moving in the next, say, 10 to 12 days that could potentially throw down some heavy rain and maybe even some severe weather, especially the one that's coming in this weekend. So that's the thing we've got to pay attention to for now. All right. I just want you to know that none of these things that I show you are a sure bet. You cannot take just one model. You cannot just take one snapshot and go, that's what's going to happen. You just can't do that. So that's why I take the time to explain, because it's very important that you know that. All right. Now, I want to take a look at rain possibilities, and let me update this. Look at this. Do you see that? It just updated. Wow. Now check that out. Now remember, only a few days ago, we were in that white hole showing no rain. Now look, we are now going more into, this is showing on these purples, these different purple hues. We're talking about 1.5 inches to 2 inches of rain. 1.5 to 2 inches of rain along and pretty much west of Interstate 65. Further east, we're still talking about 1 inch to 1.5 inches. That is some really good rainfall. So really, we could say 1 to 2 inches of rain is certainly a possibility with this system that's coming in this weekend. Hallelujah. We need it. And this, unfortunately, the drought, when it comes out, the drought monitor, when it comes out on Thursday, is going to show things much, much worse than what came out just this past Thursday. I think it's going to show all of us in a serious drought situation, or severe drought. But if we get this 1 to 2 inches of rainfall this weekend, that's going to put a serious dent in that drought situation. So that would be some fantastic news. Yeah. Let's hope that that is the case. Okay. Let's go to the model blender. Let me update it here and I'll show you what it's showing. And now there we go. Look, look at what's coming. That's what's even better. So we go upper 70s to around 80. We were almost there today. Looks like tomorrow and Wednesday, there's nothing to really block us from going that warm. But any warmer than that, it's really this time of the year now, middle of October, it's going to be much harder to get into the mid 80s and upper 80s and 90. I don't think that's going to happen anymore this season. 80, low 80s, maybe Friday, Saturday before the storms come in. And it's that added moisture and added heat that will help energize some of those thunderstorms that may go strong to severe Saturday into Sunday. But then look what happens after that. Low 70s, mid 70s, only near 70. And look at these lows dropping from the 60s to the 50s to the 40s. That would be, okay, Sunday into Sunday night into Monday morning. Maybe a low in the low to mid 40s here in Bowling Green. I'll take it. I'll take it because that would be just really, really awesome. So that's what we're looking at. Again, you cannot just take a snapshot of this and go, okay, Chris is saying this is going to happen. It may not happen, but potentially, underscore that word, potentially, things are in place. The dynamics in the atmosphere, there's going to be an active jet stream. There's going to be low level winds. There's going to be plenty of moisture. There's going to be a little bit more heat. All of these things will come together, I think, to potentially set us up for a severe weather episode here in the 270 this weekend. Stay tuned. I'll have more as we go through time, and I'll have an update on this, of course, not only here tomorrow night, but in the morning on News 40 Sunrise. Okay? In the meantime, since we are, ooh, did you see that? Did you see that? This little, that was cool. That's something new. See all this, and I've got a lot more control of how I set things up now. I love this. I love that transition. That was pretty cool. So, in talking about the possibility of severe weather, you know what I'm going to say. You know what I'm going to say, right? I'm looking at you. R&R Controls, you need to talk to them about a generator. All right? And as it shows here in this graphic, if paying for backup power is your pain point, you can talk to R&R Controls, the people who install, maintain, and service Generac generators, the number one name in generators, backup power for your home and your business. They can set you up with a credit line so that if you look at this and you go, you know, I would really like to have a generator, but I don't think I can afford it. Oh, well, look, right there, right above my head. See that? The Generac credit card through Synchronicity. They can help. And the folks at R&R Controls can show you how to sign up for that. You will pick out the generator that you need. R&R will come out, take a look at your home, take a look at your business, and they will say, you know what? For the size home that you have or the size business that you have, this is the kind of generator that you need. It would more than take care of everything, your lights, your refrigerator, your freezers, your TVs, your computers. It would take care of all of that. Here's how big of a kilowatt of a generator that you need from Generac. They can set you up, and then they can set you up with how you're going to pay for it. So don't think that owning a generator is going to be out of reach financially. And if this weekend the power goes off, you're going to wish you had one, right? Yeah. So call them. Call R&R Controls. You know the number. I've said it to you so many times. You should know it now, and you can point it out with me. 270-777-2024. And it's right up there at the top of this graphic. I'll put it right in there. 270-777-2024. With R&R Controls, you'll never be without. And this weekend, I guarantee you will not want to be without power. Ooh, there's that transition again. That was beautiful. Anyway, so, okay, I'm done. I think we made it through with audio intact. Everybody heard me. Everybody saw me. We even threw in some fancy little transitions and things going on. Ooh, that just makes it fancy, fancy, pantsy, artsy, fartsy, even. All right, you guys, thank you always for watching. Thank you for supporting me, watching 270 Weather. I'm really going to keep an eye on what's going to possibly take place this weekend, and I'll let you know. You know I will. But really, more than half the battle on severe weather is preparedness and just being ready just in case something does happen. It's not a guarantee that it's going to, but don't you feel better just knowing you've made preparations just in case? Yeah, that means a lot. And it'll mean a lot to your family. And if you own a business, it will mean a lot to your employees knowing that you've prepared. Okay, that's going to do it for this Monday evening. Thank you as always for watching, and I will see you tomorrow morning at 6 a.m. on News 40 Sunrise, on News 40 CBS and NBC, then again at 9 a.m., then again at noon. In the meantime, God bless, and thank you for watching.